Vinland Saga isn't just anime, it's self-help in a Viking helmet. You came for the duels, the revenge arcs, the beard-flexing brutality, but you stayed because something deeper stirred. Because somewhere between the bloodshed and violence, a broken boy asked, "What is a true warrior?" And suddenly, this wasn't just a story, it was a mirror. These weren't just battle cries, they were emotional landmines disguised as quotes, whispers of pain, purpose, and redemption. Today, we're peeling back the war paint, revealing the soul beneath the saga, the life lessons hidden in Vinland Saga that weren't just meant to entertain you, they were forged to change you. So, grab your axe or your journal, because the Vikings have something to say, and it's gonna wreck you in the best possible way. What if I told you the most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't reach for their weapon? Let's talk about Thors. Yeah, that Thors. The Viking tank who could have 1v10'd his way into Valhalla with one bicep tied behind his back. But instead, he chose peace. And not the cheesy group hug kind. I mean the terrifying, unshakable calm of a man who's seen war and decided he was done playing the game. Picture this. Thors walks into a fight. No sword, no armor, just dad energy cranked to 1,000. He disarms warriors like he's swatting mosquitoes. Bare hands, no rage, no flex. And when asked why, he says it like a whisper that echoes for generations. A true warrior needs no sword. That's not just a cool anime line. That's philosophy. That's stoicism, marinated in Viking grit. According to Dr. Nassim Nichols Taleb, you know, the guy who basically wrote the manual on toughness for philosophers, real strength isn't smashing stuff, it's restraint. Anyone can punch when angry, but it takes a battle-tested mind to choose not to. Think about the last time someone came at you sideways. Your ego's like, type that 4-paragraph roast, destroy their soul. But your inner Thors goes, nah, breathe, walk away, win anyway. And let's be honest, silence hits different when you know you could have gone full verbal Viking. The lesson? Being a warrior isn't about swinging harder. It's about knowing when not to swing. Action step. Next time you're triggered, tempted, or tested, don't react. Respond with stillness. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough not to need the sword. Because true warriors, they build, they protect, and sometimes they just walk away like absolute legends. Thors taught us that real strength is restraint. But what happens when all that strength is wasted chasing the wrong enemy? That's where Thorfinn's journey begins. Most people think growth looks like a glow-up. New job, new body, new followers. But for Thorfinn, growth looked like dropping the sword and saying the 4 most powerful words a Viking could ever utter. I have no enemies. This isn't some peace sign Instagram quote. This is a man who literally spent years trying to kill the guy who murdered his father. His whole childhood was one long revenge side quest. Thorfinn, level 10 rage goblin, equipped with anger, trauma, daddy issues, weak against emotional maturity. Then one day, he stops. No yelling, no dramatic final battle, just silence, reflection, forgiveness. And it doesn't look weak. It looks freeing. Dr. Fred Luskin from Stanford found that holding on to hate doesn't just wreck your mood, it wrecks your body. Forgiveness isn't letting them off the hook, it's letting yourself off the leash. Let's be honest. You ever rehearse an argument from 3 years ago in the shower like it's a Broadway audition? Still mad at your ex for just needing space? Still angry at your boss for giving Kevin the promotion even though Kevin literally microwaves fish in the office? That's not revenge. That's time traveling in emotional jail. The lesson? Thorfinn thought Askeladd was his prison, but it was the hate he packed in his own heart. Action step. Make a list. Seriously. Write down every name, every grudge you're clinging to like it's your emotional security blanket. Then ask, are these people really in your life anymore? Or are you just renting them space in your head for free? Forgive. Not because they earned it, but because you deserve peace more than they deserve punishment. You're not weak for letting go. You're finally free. Thorfinn learned to stop fighting ghosts, but Askeladd, he never fought ghosts. He manipulated the living. Mastermind mode engaged. The smartest guy in the room? Yeah, he's not the one yelling. He's the one sitting in the corner sipping tea, watching everyone else make mistakes he planned for. That's Askeladd, the Viking Littlefinger. The dude played kingdoms like chess pieces while pretending to be a pawn. He's got Thorkel swinging axes, the Danish crown playing tug-of-war, and Thorfinn stuck in his own revenge loop. And Askeladd, he's just there, casually gaslighting half the continent while quoting Welsh poetry. A man with no land must use his head. Translation: no throne, no problem. Be so clever, people forget you never had power to begin with. See, Askeladd didn't have the biggest sword, but he did have the biggest brain. And according to Harvest Business Review, yeah, we're bringing in the nerds. Emotional intelligence and strategy beat raw IQ in leadership every time. That's right, the most powerful guy in a room's usually the one who shuts up, watches, and waits. You ever sit in a meeting or classroom where no one takes you seriously? Good, that's your stealth mode. Use it. Watch how people move. Learn what matters to them. Then make moves they never saw coming. The lesson? Askeladd didn't need status. He used silence as a weapon, strategy as armor. Action step: break out your tactical scroll, General. List your top 3 goals. Then reverse engineer them into micro moves, like a strategist planning 3 steps ahead. Think like a tactician. If I do X, how does Y react? Then make your move like you already own the board. Because the loudest one in a room usually doesn't even know there's a game being played. But you're the Askeladd in the shadows, underestimated, but never, ever outplayed. While Askeladd played chess with kings, Canute was still learning how to be one, until grief broke him and rebuilt him into something terrifying. There comes a moment when love fails, when the people who were supposed to protect you don't. And that's when something inside you breaks or evolves. For Canute, that moment was Ragnar's death. The soft-spoken prince doesn't just grieve, he transforms. He steps out of the shadow, colder, calmer, calculating. If love is not enough, then power must be. That wasn't ego, that was survival. Canute didn't want to become ruthless, but kindness failed him, so he chose power instead. And suddenly, the boy who once whispered now ruled with silence and fear. Dr. Jordan Peterson's shadow self explains this. The part of you that says, "I'll never be hurt again," is powerful. But if you let it take over, it won't just protect you, it will replace you. Maybe you felt it too. You used to be open, kind, hopeful. Then life hit you, and now you flinch before trusting. You don't speak unless you're sure. You call it being smart, but sometimes it's just hiding with armor on. The lesson and the warning. Viking therapy strikes again. Canute teaches us that strength born from pain is still strength. But if you let your wounds lead, you risk losing the very thing you were trying to protect. Action step. Power isn't evil, but don't let it be your only answer. Ask yourself, am I leading with fear or with purpose? Journal who you became after pain and whether that version still aligns with who you want to be. Stay strong, but don't trade your soul for control. Power's not the villain, but if you use it to hide your hurt, you'll end up ruling an empty kingdom. And when the crown grows too heavy, what's left? Just 2 men, no power, no weapons, planting seeds in the dirt. And somehow, that's where the real freedom begins. Here's something wild. You can be physically free and still feel caged. And sometimes, the people with the heaviest chains walk with the lightest hearts. Einar and Thorfinn are slaves, literally. Shovels in hand, dirt under nails, no rights, no freedom, and yet they laugh, they build, they dream. What does it mean to be free? That's not just small talk. That's the whole point of their arc. Einar's lost everything. His family, his home, and yeah, he wants to burn it all down, but instead of going full rage mode, he does something shocking. He plants wheat. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, once said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude." And that's exactly what Einar and Thorfinn figured out. Okay, so you're not chained to a field in Viking Denmark. But maybe you are stuck, trapped in a job that eats your soul, dragging student debt like it's a second shadow, scrolling through highlight reels comparing them to your blooper reel. Your chains might be invisible, but you're heavy all the same. Here's the twist: you can choose how to carry them. The lesson? Freedom isn't a location, it's a mindset. You don't have to wait for permission to start living like you matter. You don't have to be free to start building something real. Action step. Ask yourself this: what seed can I plant today? What can I create? Even in this stuck place. Write it down. Act on it. Even one small thing, a project, a habit, a goal, is a shovel in your hand. Because freedom isn't just escape, it's choosing your response while you're still trapped. And that makes you unstoppable. Vinland Saga didn't just tell stories about war. It whispered truths about you, the way you hold on to anger, the masks you wear, the chains you carry, the quiet strength you've forgotten you had. These weren't just characters fighting for survival. They were trying to tell you something. Are you finally ready to listen?